Now, the lefties are triggered once again because actress Sydney Sweeney is refusing to apologise for taking part in a successful jeans commercial. Sydney Sweeney, of course, sat down with GQ for an interview. She was there to promote her new movie, Christie, and she was basically asked if she would like to explain herself. Would she like to apologise to the lefty lunatics who were crying on camera, calling Sydney Sweeney a Nazi for taking part in a commercial?
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Absolutely brilliant response from Sydney Sweeney. And how painful is that, journalist? I just want to give you the opportunity to apologise or to explain yourself.
You have to do it in the voice, Gabriella. You have to do it in her annoying voice.
I know, it's too much. It's absolutely too much. Caitlin, how brilliant was Sydney Sweeney?
I think that was a black belt performance. And what makes it so brilliant, and I think this is an important topic right now in our current culture, is talking about media literacy. Because media literacy in 2025 is almost like something you have to take a master class in. And it means really knowing when a question is a setup. And you see Sydney sitting there so composed, but there's almost this moment where a switch goes off and you can pick up on it, of course, for us in the media, where she can tell this is a setup. And choosing not to step inside it. That is the power. And I think this is a lesson for anyone right now that's ever answering a question or ever getting a message from someone in the media or someone that calls himself a so-called journalist. And just in this world where we're chronically online, the interviewer's tone is on purpose. It's very soft. It's sympathetic. It's even I'm on your side sort of tone. And that is a classic setup. So the closer for me, the brilliance of all of this was I will be heard. Not I have to explain myself. Not I'll defend myself or I'll have to defend my image. It was I will be heard. So don't let these people decide your narrative. Like we're going to see a lot more of this, actually, a lot more of these Sydney Sweeney performances because people are fed up with the so-called journalists and the lamestream leftists trying to always spin the narrative. And I think the skill is answering well, not falling into the trap. So
I couldn't agree with you more. Now we have to talk about what's happened in New York City. I mean, last week, New Yorkers elected socialist Zohran Mamdani as mayor of New York City. The rest of the world, and certainly over here in Australia, people are watching this horrified by the results and, you know, plenty of concerns around what's going to happen to New York City. Now in Florida, a mayor over there is telling New York businesses to come to Florida as Mamdani is set to pursue a policy agenda that hinges on raising corporate taxes, hiking up taxes on the rich. Also in Connecticut, according to brokers over there, real estate is booming in parts as New Yorkers are looking to snap up homes, many holding fears over a potential economic downturn and city safety. Talk to us, Caitlin, about what you're seeing in New York following Mamdani's win.
Well, they're calling this the Mamdani migration, Gabriella. And of course, right, we have a lot of the wealthy class of New York, the affluent people that for some time leading up to this election were logically thinking about their next step. We're logically thinking about, oh, should I go to my second or third home? But that's not the biggest problem here. A bit more concerning for all your viewers following what we're facing here in New York is those that are walking away from deals, businesses that are now backing off on investments and saying no and not investing in property here or not bringing their business here or had deals that were about to go through and they're now walking away. That's the more concerning part than the wealthy people that are going to their second homes right now. So Mr. Mamdani has a big problem on his hands because guess what? Who's about to pay for all of his free stuff? He is now, I would argue, Florida's real estate salesman of 2025. I don't know if that was really his goal, but congrats to him because we are facing an uphill battle here in New York City, and there were so many concerns on multiple levels. But I would argue that the major part of this story and more concerning is the future investments that are now leaving this city.
Yeah, 100%. Looking ahead at the midterm elections and the MAHA movement, there are reports that the MAHA movement is going to be key in really boosting support for Republicans, as of course there is support with what RFK Jr. is doing when it comes to processed foods, such as removing additives like dyes and excess sugar. Can you talk to us about the MAHA movement and what we're going to see as we inch closer, I should say, towards the midterms?
Yeah, I believe it or not, those midterms are right around the corner. And I think right now we're at an interesting intersection where we realize what matters to the left, what matters to conservatives, but what matters to both of us is health. So, if anything, as we near closer and closer to midterms, this is the first movement in a long time where we have the potential to kind of depolarize the country. I think making America healthy again in this health movement can actually serve as the bridge to bring people together. And it's Republicans, it's our president, Donald Trump, it's RFK, and it's many Republicans that recognize this. And I think the left tends to focus on being angry and criticizing. But making America healthy again is not a red versus blue issue. At the end of the day, nobody wants a sick America. And in order to make America great again, we have to make America healthy again. So expect to see a lot of emphasis on the major wins coming from the MAHA movement, and expect the MAHA movement to actually serve as that bridge, Gabriella.
And you're right about the left focusing on being angry. I mean, just listen to Jimmy Kimmel's wife. She'll tell you about it. MAHA PAC media strategist Caitlin Sinclair, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.